Ready to make a difference? This is the Palm Harbor Chamber of Commerce podcast, where we connect you with the stories behind our local businesses.
Welcome to the Palm Harbor Chamber podcast. I'm your host, Kert Rhodes, and today we have Lisa Schindler from State Farm Insurance. Happy Friday.
Thank
Great
you,
to
Kurt.
see you.
Happy to be here.
Absolutely. I think today's Good Friday, isn't it? Is it not?
I don't think so.
Well, let's let that go.
Maybe it is. I don't know.
I think every Friday's Good Friday.
That's right.
It's just before the weekend. So tell
And
us.
it's a long weekend. It's Memorial Day
It's
weekend.
Memorial Weekend. It's going to be great, that extra day. So, anyhow, let's dive into it.
Sure.
Who is Lisa? Where did she grow up? Where do you come from?
All right. So I'm Lisa Schindler, and my husband is Greg Schindler, and together we own Greg Schindler State Farm. Okay. So more about me specifically.
Yes.
I grew up on Long Island in New York.
Couldn't tell.
I was the youngest of 4 children.
Oh, wow.
So I came from an Italian-Puerto Rican household.
Okay.
Which was very loud, very boisterous.
A lot of good food.
Fun growing up, a lot of good food, huge family gatherings. I went and shared it for the world.
Okay.
So, thing that...
Hold on, your siblings.
Yes.
Boys, girls.
Okay, I'm the youngest of 4.
Youngest, oh.
3 girls and 1 boy. So the boy was the prince of the family.
Wow.
We had to do all the chores while he sat around because he was the boy. But,
Wow.
yeah.
You had to say that.
That didn't sit very well with us, but,
Okay.
you know.
It is what it is.
It is what it is.
Right.
But one thing most people don't know about me is that when I was growing up, I was an elite level gymnast, and I competed nationally and internationally. So,
Good for you.
yeah, it was a lot of long hours, and I would go to school and then directly go to gymnastics training from like 5:30 to 10 Monday through Friday, and Saturdays it was always 9 to 2. But I think that experience really shaped me to who I am today and gave me a lot of really good life skills.
In what way, though? Just because, what, discipline?
Basically, it taught me how to set goals and achieve them, how to work through adversity, because if you're in a competition and, you fall off beam, you have to get right back up and finish it and complete the rest of the, finish the competition, how to be coached, how to coach. And basically, you have to be very organized and very disciplined as far as, with that type of schedule, juggling schoolwork, juggling gymnastics, juggling travel. So it really gave me a lot of life skills to how to be successful moving forward. And I think...
Did you learn that on your own? Or was it from your parents, from your siblings? Just curious.
I think all my siblings are very different.
Okay.
I was the only one who kind of took that type of path, and I think it was more self-learned because I didn't have any choice. If I wanted to do well in school, I needed to figure out how to get my schoolwork done and still be at the gym 4.5 hours till 10 o'clock at night.
Right.
My gym was an hour away, so in that ride, my parents were always very supportive of me, and they did not drive me back and forth. They'd drive the hour with me, stay there for the 4 hours, and drive me back.
Wow.
But that's when I would try and do my work. I remember many times driving home and having a flashlight and reading my stuff for school. I've always, I think, innately had an ability to try and excel, and I love that competition. Okay. I really fed off it. Always wanting to. Not so much competition with other people. It was always competition myself. I think, gymnastics being an individual sport rather than a team sport. Yeah. People say, that girl's better than you or you're better than them. I never really thought of it like that. I always thought of, I want to beat my last score. I want to be better than I was in the last meet. So that was something innate in me that I just always strive to be better.
And none of your siblings?
So
that gymnastics?
No. Okay. My sister, she couldn't even walk up the flight of steps without tripping. The one next to me. My brother did do wrestling, but he didn't really have that. How could I put it? I think my father wanted him to do the wrestling more than he wanted to do the wrestling. I think he really didn't have a strong mindset and just wasn't his thing. He was more of a hippie. He's still a hippie. It wasn't his type of thing. He did it to appease that. My sister, oldest sister, is a little bit more like me, very focused. She's in the financial services business. But growing up, she didn't do, physically, that wasn't her like athletics wasn't her thing, but she was more into school, being focused and disciplined. We're similar in that respect.
So from Long Island, you moved to Florida somehow, some way.
Yes, I did, but I went to school in Madison, Wisconsin.
Okay.
I got a gymnastics scholarship there. Well, actually,
now,
several
that
offers.
is totally different from
it is.
Long Island.
Yep.
I mean,
yep.
Yeah. Okay.
It was very weird because
was it a culture shock to you?
Yes. I had not
Were
so
you
much for
cheesehead?
Me. Oh yeah, I was a cheesehead, absolutely. Not so much of a culture shock for me; it's a culture shock for the other people. So there's so many misconceptions about New York.
Yeah.
So I grew up in a beautiful neighborhood. 5 minutes from the beach, but I had people come up to me and say, "Oh, you're from New York. Do you carry a knife?
Wow.
Have you ever seen a tree?" I mean, just ridiculous questions. I'm like, where are they getting this from? So I think it was more for them.
I think most people think of Lower Manhattan, kind of massive buildings.
It just kind of blew me away. So I kind of, make a joke. I'm like, I carry a knife, so watch out. Just stuff like that. But it was just like, it was very strange. But I loved Wisconsin. Okay. I thought it was beautiful. It was on a big lake. I stayed one summer. I took sailing lessons. In addition to my schoolwork, I just really... I liked it. Okay. The reason how I got to Florida was my parents moved probably 6 months before I graduated. Oh. Well, after 4 years in Madison, Wisconsin with the snow, I was like, you know what? Florida sounds pretty good.
It's a little warmer.
Save me a room. I'm coming to Florida. So that's how I ended up in Florida.
Okay. And now have you always been in kind of the Palm Harbor area?
Our first house was in basically Palm Harbor, Trinity, and now I live in Tarpon Springs.
Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yep.
So
State Farm actually was my first job right out of college.
Really?
Yep. I am probably an anomaly. I have been with the same company, the one and only company, since I graduated for 37 years.
Wow.
In some aspect or another, whether it's our own business or working for State Farm Corporate.
Yeah.
37 years with one company.
Now, your first day at work, you're thinking, oh my gosh, what am I getting myself into? Or was it, oh my gosh, I can't wait to actually learn this. This is going to be a lot of fun.
I was like, I can't wait to actually learn this.
Okay.
Yeah, I was, I started out in claims. Okay. So you need to be a very different type of person to work in claims. Yes. You have to have a very thick skin. It's not made for everybody because you will have people... it's really
barking
fulfilling because sometimes you're able to help people and they're so thankful, but 90% of the times they just got in an accident or they just had a house fire, they're upset, they're pissed, or, it can be very confrontational. Or the person that our State Farm insured hit, they are calling because they have damage and they're just screaming and yelling, and you have to be able to navigate that, and a lot of people just can't take that, 8 hours a day, people on you like that. It didn't bother me in the least. I just have a mindset like, hey, this is my job.
So you started off on the right side of things.
I started out in very difficult, and then I went through a kind of path where
good for you.
I went from claims to catastrophe claims to learning and development. I probably have worked in almost every aspect of the insurance company.
Yeah.
That you could until we Greg and I opened up our own business in 2018.
Now, was that your choice when you started in claims? Or was that just something like,
that was the position that was open.
Okay.
And I interviewed for it.
Right.
I mean,
okay.
Here I am, I'm like 20 years old. I don't know anything, just graduated college. I've moved to a new state, don't know anything. And
right.
I interviewed.
So how long were you along in State Farm until you met your husband?
Okay.
Because was he in State Farm?
He was in State Farm, yes.
Really?
All right, so
oh, boy, here we go. All right,
One of my jobs was catastrophe services. So basically we're the claim reps who travel around the United States if there's a hurricane, a hailstorm or a flood, and we basically, we'll inspect those claims and get those people up and running as fast as they can. And he was on a Miami team, and I was on a Tampa team.
Okay.
And I met him in Mankato, Minnesota. So it was actually a horrible situation.
Okay.
It was a tornado that really demolished a town.
Okay.
And they sent, when the catastrophe happens, they send people from, the reps from all over the United States to go to certain places. And we both so happened to get called to the same storm in Mankato, Minnesota, and that's where I met my husband.
Okay. And how many years were you in at State Farm?
Before I met him?
Yes.
Probably 10, maybe.
So you had 10 years under your belt.
Yeah.
And how many years did he have under his belt?
He's younger than me, so.
Oh, okay.
He probably had maybe 6 or 7, maybe 6, something like that.
Right.
And we stayed on catastrophe service for like 9 years. It was actually one of my favorite positions that I had with the company. And
Why is that? I'm curious.
I just felt like that was where the rubber hit the road.
Yeah.
It was first, it was exciting. We were young, we could travel all over, but you always think of insurance. Most people think of insurance as just a piece of paper, and I think of it more as a promise. And when I did that job, first it was very emotional for me because you're going to places that are totally devastated. I hugged insureds. I cried with them. I mean, I would get a claim where the instructions would say, "Hey, you need to inspect this house, but be careful. 3 of their family members died in the tornado," and it was sometimes aggravating. Like you go to something like a tornado when people are just, "I'm so glad you're here," and then you go to a hailstorm in Miami, and people are just so mad. And like these people, we went to Fargo. That was one. And these people lost everything, and they'd come into us. "I know you're busy. I'm so sorry." And they just were like the nicest people who lost everything.
Yeah.
And then you go to Miami, and they have a couple of things on their car from a hailstorm, and it's like all hell breaks loose, and they're crazy about it, coming yelling. It's like, So it's just funny how different sections of the United States handle things differently.
Sure.
But that one position, being there seeing somebody in their really time of need and being able to help them through that process and giving them a check to help them rebuild their lives, always tugged at my heartstrings. And I just felt that that's really where the promise that we made is fulfilled.
Okay.
And so for me, it was one of the most rewarding positions that I had with State Farm. And that's why I stayed on it so long. The only reason I left that position was because I got pregnant. And now I'm climbing, you have to climb roofs and it's, carry ladders. So it wasn't really something that I can do after that. So,
right. So how many children do you have?
I have 2.
2?
We have my son Luke. He's 23. He just finished his second year of law school.
Okay.
My daughter Lindsay's 19, and she just finished her first year at FSU.
Okay. And are they going to be circling back to State Farm, or you and Greg retire? And
probably not.
Okay.
My son.
They want to go their own direction.
Like I said, he's in his second year of law school. He did an internship in the governor's office. Law school wasn't even on his radar.
Right.
He was in finance, but he loved it. He did a whole summer there. And they thought he went to UF. They thought he went to FSU. They're like, can you come? We love you. Can you come back for the next semester? He's like, I'm in Gainesville. So he goes, there's some classes I have to take to graduate in person. So he didn't. He was already ahead. He had his AA before he finished college or went to college. So that's the next semester. I said, Luke, you know what? Take the semester off. Who cares if you graduate in May or you graduate in August? Go work for the whole semester there. And he did. And they really liked him. And they said, listen, if you have an aptitude for this type of work, but if you want to consider this as a career path for you, you need a law degree.
And you said he's working for the governor.
He was working for the governor.
Okay.
But they said if you want to continue, if you want this to be a career, you need your law degree.
Right.
So he had like maybe 3 weeks to study for his LSAT and took the test.
Okay.
And, so now he's down in Naples in law school. He finished his second year. My daughter has really no idea what she wants to do, but she keeps saying she definitely doesn't want to do insurance. She thinks she's like an actress or something, Okay. She models.
So do you have the UF/FSU license plate, the half and half, or the half shirts that you see and a half? One side Gator, one side Seminole.
Well, because actually Luke went to both schools. He went to FSU the first year and then transferred to UF.
Yeah.
The year he didn't get into UF right away. The year he did, it was mostly all females. It was very hard to get into. So he did his 1 year at FSU and transferred in. So he can. It was never a confrontational. My husband went to FSU.
Okay.
So, but
That's interesting that he went to those two schools.
Yeah.
That's pretty rare.
Yeah.
So, not sure if he's a Gator fan or a Seminole fan, but hey.
I'm a Bucky Badger fan, so hey.
Bucky Badger?
That's the University of Wisconsin.
Okay. I didn't know it was Bucky Badger. I thought it was just Badgers.
The Badgers. We call them Bucky Badgers.
Oh, okay.
I mean, we're going back to
1980-something.
Yeah. It was Bucky the Badger, so maybe it's not now, but it was Bucky back then.
So you've been in the business for 37 years.
Yeah. Scary, huh?
You met your husband in Minnesota. Got 2 kids. Great. Awesome. Now, your location, we talked about this off air, but let's just go over it real quick.
Yep.
Your new location is?
Our new location is 2138 Alternate 19. So we are on Alternate 19 between Nebraska and Alderman. So if you've gone to Alderman, you've gone too far. If you pass Nebraska, you're too far. So
kind of where the curve is?
Yes, kind of where the curve is. It's like a...
On the west side of the road.
Yep. It's professional condos, and we bought one of the condos in there, and that's where we're at. We used to be at a location kind of on the cusp of Palm Harbor. It was actually Clearwater address, but it was on Curlew and 19, right where the Olive Garden used to be. So, but we prefer this location because now we can stay off of 19 and not have to, they did all that construction. You have to go all the way down to Republic, make a turn, and people who are having a hard time getting into our office. So this is a much easier location to get in and out of.
Plus, they redid Alter 19, kind of making their way around the corners.
And it's just a much nicer, cozier office, and we're real happy there.
Good, very good. Yeah. So let's kind of transition into your membership at the Chamber.
Okay.
When you joined, how long you've been there, what's your experience like that so far?
So when we first opened up, we joined the Chamber, and we were in for several years, and then things got crazy with State Farm. So we pulled back a little bit, and now we're back in the Chamber. And the reason we joined back in, several reasons. I mean, we always like to expand our network and meet other business owners and other professionals who are really invested in helping other people grow their business and invested in growing our community and seeing our community just be the best it can be.
Good.
Continually, I mean, we answer the phones all day long at our office in State Farm, and we get all the time, do you know anybody who does 4 points and limits? Do you know, I just had a plumbing leak, do you know a plumber?
So you need resources.
Yeah. Do you know an AC guy, our AC's leaking or it went out? I'm like, and being in the Chamber, it's like, yeah, I have somebody for that, so it opens up a whole network for me to help our customers with people who are known and trusted and professional people that I feel comfortable referring out to my customers. And in return, I know that other Chamber members are also doing reciprocal. They're throwing our name out there. Somebody's, insurance rate went up. Call Greg Schindler State Farm. They'll see if they can help you, So it's kind of a both-way street. But for me, it's really like having a network of people that I can feel comfortable with referring to my customers because they're always asking sometimes off-the-wall things,
Yeah.
And the funniest one was the baker. Hey, we're having a graduation party. I need a custom cake. And I'm like, you know what? I have somebody for that. Exactly. So I was able to, refer her out. You wouldn't think an insurance company, but they talk to you about everything about their life and insurance. Yeah. So it really opens up a whole network for me to help my customers more than I do besides their financial and insurance needs.
Before I forget, throw out your phone number.
Sure.
Please.
727-238-8800.
And is there an email address for your location?
There is. The easiest one, there's some long ones, I'll give you the short one. It's Greg, and he has 2 G's at the end of his name, so it's GREGG at Greg, again 2 G's, and the letters S like state, F like farm.com. Or if you're trying to reach me, you just take Greg's name out, you'll go Lisa at gregsf.com. Or anybody else in our office. Robin at gregsf.com.
Okay, very good. So how many employees do you have?
So we have 3 in the office.
Okay.
Me and Greg, and then we have we have one employee who's worked for us since she's in the 11th grade.
Yeah.
And she's a quick learner, smart, and she's now in graduate school. And she still continues to, whenever she can, we try and help her out, so she can make some extra money, and help us along the way. She's been with us forever, and so she works virtually out of Ohio State, and then we have another virtual worker in Naples.
Okay, very good.
So she does a service work.
Backtrack, but I know we're kind of talking about the chamber and what have you. But
and pretty much when you call our office, you're going to get me, Greg, Ashley, Robin. That's it.
Okay.
For the most part, you're going to get 4 of us. It's not like you have to call, 1-800 and it gets transferred here. You call our office, you're getting through to our office, and you're getting a human. Most of our customers have our personal cell phone, and I do get calls after hours. I get calls on the weekends. We have our laptops, and we do fire up our computer for our customers.
That's good to hear. Good to hear. So getting back to the chamber, when did you join the chamber?
2018.
2018. Mm-hmm. Okay. Now, just your thoughts of the chamber and what's its functionality. Because obviously we like to give back to the community. We like to bring business owners like yourself, like myself, together so they can kind of grow and what have you. So
I think the thing that comes most to mind is it is a growing opportunity. We have one of our employees who we hired her within the last 18 months.
Okay.
Does not like to do anything social. She's petrified of speaking in front of people. We forced her to come to the Young Business Professionals meeting.
Okay. Yeah.
And
how'd that go?
She was a nervous wreck.
Before.
I mean, like.
After?
It's taken her like 1 or 2, but now she's like, okay, I can do this. So I think it's, it helps people grow in ways.
Yes, get out of their own way.
Yeah, just remove obstacles and grow as an individual and grow as a person, in addition to trying growing your network so she can organically, kind of have her own network to grow leads and get customers. So it's kind of making her think in ways that she probably would have never thought before.
Right.
They just these kids today, they just think they don't really. I won't say this. They don't have that hustler mindset.
Right.
Of how to.
Some
things.
do. Some
don't.
Some
of them don't. She definitely wasn't. But now it's getting her to think in those ways and thinking how she can better herself. You know what? If I want to sell life insurance, I need to get my life license.
Yeah. I think phones have really changed us. In my opinion.
Yep.
We're just
everything's so
like this.
Text.
Head down instead of head up.
And that's one thing that drives me crazy. Everything is so. I mean, most people like to get texts, but I'm old-fashioned, I guess. Yeah, I'm going to be 60 years old. I want to call. I want to talk to people. I don't want to text. And so we'll contact people and use the communication format however our insureds are comfortable. But we, at our office, really strive to just give that personal touch and go the extra mile. If we can't get a hold of you by text, we're calling you. You just need that human contact. I don't think the text really does that, for me anyway. Maybe for the younger kids,
I think it can initiate and it's good for follow-up, but there's a certain point where you need to make that phone call.
Yeah.
I do like the text. I do like to talk on the phone. But I think the text kind of sometimes creates that phone call.
Yep.
Because I think the text is more personal.
Yeah.
And that personal touch opens up another avenue to communicate when you're talking.
It's quick because most people sometimes can't talk and they can text
for whatever they're doing.
For our business, and here's my philosophy on it: the customers that I know the best are the ones that I could help the most.
Right.
And I can't really get to know a customer over text. I strive, and this is Greg's and I philosophy since we opened our doors. We want to be the best thing on our customer's worst day.
Okay.
So there are agents there who will do anything just to get a sale. They'll quote high deductibles. They won't add certain coverages because they want to win that sale.
Right.
And unfortunately, most people in insurance, they just want to. They don't even know what's covered. They look at that bottom price and then they'll buy it on price. Oh, this homeowner's quote is $12,000. This one's $1,200. This one's $1,600. I'm going with the $1,200. Okay, but you really need to know what you're getting with that $1,200 compared to that $1,600. So
spell it out for them.
I like to sit down with our customers and explain to them exactly what they're getting. There's no surprises.
Right.
I've never thought of myself as a salesperson. ever. I always thought of my position as an educator, where I'll explain to you what you're getting, give you options, because ultimately, Kurt, you're in charge of your checkbook.
Yep.
I can't make a decision for you of how much you want to pay for something, but I am in charge of at least making you understand what you're getting here compared to what you're getting here, and educating you so you can make an informed decision.
Education is very important.
If you choose the lower option, great, but just know if there's a claim, this, and this may not be covered. Right. So I try and insulate our people, knowing their financial status. So sometimes you have to, when you have a new customer, they kind of look at you, when you try to ask them questions. And I'm like everything we talk here is confidential. Let's shut the door.
Yeah.
And I need to know what you have to protect to be able to make recommendations to you. So
I think from an educational standpoint and communication, taking those two together, when we see new members come into our chamber, that's the one thing we really want to concentrate on.
Yeah.
Because some people might be like your employee. Oh my gosh, there's like 50 people in here. Oh, I don't want to talk to anybody. And all of a sudden they get in the mix and they're like, oh man, I should have done this 2 months ago. What was I thinking? So because we like to communicate with each other, we like to educate each other, because I want to learn more about you. You want to learn more about me. You want to learn about the other members.
Yep.
And as you get, I've been a member as of this month 8 years.
Okay.
But my first month, I was like, oh my gosh, I don't know any of these people. How am I going to get to know these people? And it happened very, very quickly, just because of my personality. But I can see you're kind of in the same boat. But when you see a new member walking in the door and they're just like a deer in headlights, like, oh my gosh, we make a conscious effort
to go over and make it feel
go
comfortable.
Over there, come over here, give us a hug. Who are you? What do you do? So we had our luncheon yesterday, just to give you a real example. And the lady signed up 2 days ago. And you could just see her sitting in the corner.
Oh, poor
kind
thing.
of looking around. And I went up to her and I said, hey, Jessica. She had a name. And she's like, oh, my God. I'm like, how are you doing? She goes, I'm good. And, it was very reserved.
Yeah.
Okay, so we went through the whole lunch. Everybody's mingling, talking. By the end of the time, she's like, hey, Kurt, nice to meet you. I was like, wow. I mean, totally.
She came out of that shell quickly, right?
Really. Broke that shell right in half.
Yeah. And so sometimes it takes a little longer with some people, but like. You know what? You just got to keep cracking at it.
I think we try to make sure our members are utilizing their membership the way they want to.
Yeah.
It's like the checkbook. I can write the check, sure, but I know what am I really getting. And not everybody has the every single day and go to all the events, right? Because we have board members here, we have ambassadors here, we have people that show up maybe once a month, twice a month. But obviously, I think it's like anything else. Once you show up consistently, 9 times out of 10, you're going to get consistent business. That's my philosophy since day one.
Yep.
And it's worked out well. Knock on wood.
At least you have wood.
Right. So, lastly, what is your why? Why do you do what you do?
I think I kind of touched on the why. I've always had a servant heart.
Yes.
To some respect.
Okay.
And I think where it really just hit me was when I did the catastrophe work. You know, like I said, it's just, I saw where the promise became a reality, and I was able to see it actually change people's lives.
Right.
But I also saw, on the other hand, where if I was handling a claim where people weren't insured properly, and that would really upset me.
That really,
it would.
irritate you.
I would lose sleep over it, thinking of that one insured who didn't have this coverage, and it cost them a lot of money, and it would really bother me.
Yeah. So
when we made the conscious decision to open up our own agency, that really was our why. We don't want to be a huge agency. We want to grow. Obviously everybody wants to, make a profit.
Sure.
But we still want to be small enough where we could always provide that personal attention and really explain to people what they're getting and educate them. We want our insureds to, like I said, we want to be their best things on their worst day. And that means having conversations with people and in educating them. And that's really our why. I want to help people. I want to make sure they're properly insured, and I want to help people protect their assets. And if something happens, I want them to look back and say, you know what, Lisa really helped me recover from the unexpected because she helped me get the right policy from the beginning. And I know if I'm served with a lawsuit from an auto accident, I don't have to freak out because I have the right coverage in place. Okay. We gave you the right coverage for the assets you had because we've had those discussions. So that's really important to us. We're not trying to be the biggest agency out there and just get business. We'd rather actually keep it smaller where we can provide that personal attention and just help as many people as we can. We just want to be our community's choice when they think of a really good insurance agent, that we would be top of mind for our customers in our community.
Well said. It was very nice meeting you. This is my first time meeting each other, right?
Yep.
So I love your background. From Long Island to Wisconsin. Man, I still can't remember. You went from Long Island to being a cheesehead.
And loving cheese curds.
Right, okay. Lisa Schindler, give your phone number again, please.
Lisa Schindler, Greg Schindler State Farm, 727-238-8800. Thanks, awesome. Everybody.
Thank you, Lisa.
Thank you. Pleasure.
Don't forget to subscribe to the Palm Harbor Chamber newsletter for updates and the next episode. A big thank you to our trustees for their incredible support. This podcast was produced by ABS Photo and Video.